Welcome to Kautilya. Today we shall discuss current affairs. UPSC Civil Services, Andhra Pradesh Public Service Commission, Telangana Public Service Commission, Bank Recruitment Examinations and Staff Selection Commission examination, either graduate or metric level. Whatever the examination, current affairs plays crucial role. See, current affairs it is completely different from a normal public to a competitive exam aspirant. The perception regarding the current affairs should be seen extensively. It's not day-to-day developments. Of course, it is important to observe what is happening in the day-to-day political, economical system in the country or in the world. But apart from this, the backgrounds of the event that was developed at present is also very crucial for an aspirant. So here, just collecting the news from any newspaper or any magazine is not sufficient. So candidates should extensively read what was happened previously to that particular event and what happened at present and what is the impact in the future of the present situation that happened. So three angles combiningly and analyzing the events is important in the preparation of current affairs. If anyone is preparing for high level examinations such as civil services, group 1 or group 2, at any higher level examination, it would require analytical power when he or she is preparing for current affairs. Now, generally the current affairs falls under various categories. Persons in news, national news, international news, India and relations with other countries, economy, science and technology, sports. Generally under these categories current affairs will fall. Now let us see how to collect the news and how to get the backgrounds and in what way the questions will appear in examination. Take for example persons in news. Generally under persons in news, if anyone gets appointment to the highest level of a constitutional body or highest level of office in India or at international level, or if anyone receives an award or if anyone demises so such a big personality, we need not to remember each and everyone who contributed his or her best to the society. For example, Abdul Kalam. Okay, so such news are very much important for competitive examinations. Now let us we see a recent appointment, an important appointment declaration was made in the recent times. Now the next Chief Justice of India is Mr. Thakur. So recently the collegium system has declared that and selected Thakur as the next CJI, that is 43rd CJI of India. Now, if this is the news, now how to develop the backgrounds? As I said initially, preparing for competitive for the current affairs is also preparing for general studies as well as GK. Both the areas can be touched by grasping about the current affairs. Now, in general studies, this particular appointment is related to judicial appointment. Now, see, in judicial, generally we have Supreme Court, below it High Court and subordinate courts. So, how the appointments takes place at judicial level? This is one area of touching. Before that one, student should also see what article provides the complete detail about the judiciary in India. If you consider this issue, Supreme Court actually from Article 124, it deals completely about the Supreme Court, the appointments to the higher judiciary level and the powers of the Supreme Court and the judiciary. Now, regarding the appointments, so how the judges is appointed? So, as I said initially, collegium system. What is this collegium system? Is the system is existing since the inception of the Constitution of India, or has it been changed over the years? These are all the questions. And just 1 month back, that is on October 16th, 2015, the Supreme Court of India has given a very important judgment regarding the appointment of judges or higher judiciary posts. So it declared NJAC as unconstitutional. Now, recently appointment was made, and on October 16th a judgment has come regarding the appointment of the judges. Now, students or aspirants has to put a link between these two. Actually, what is NJAC? What is collegium system? And what are they for? These are the two important issues that students should go through it. If carefully analyzed, 1993, since 1993, so Supreme Court has adopted appointing the judges through collegium system. However, in 2014, Parliament has made an important amendment, 99th amendment. Through this amendment, the procedure of appointment to the judiciary post has changed. Instead of collegium system, National Judicial Appointments Commission, a separate body, was established. However, on October 16th, Supreme Court has given a verdict and said that National Judicial Appointments Commission is unconstitutional and strike down the 99th Amendment Act. With this, again collegium system re-established. So, if we see carefully the chronology, collegium system, National Judicial Appointments Commission, again collegium system. These three, the order of the appointments of the bodies that which will appoint the judges of Supreme Court or High Courts. Now, here another important issue is there underlying. So, if anyone is preparing for exams like where the descriptive nature is there, so or even in the objective type of examinations, another important question can be asked: where is it possible for Supreme Court of India to declare any law that was made by Parliament as unconstitutional? If this power is there for Supreme Court of India, under which article that it derives, this is another important issue. And alternatively, if Supreme Court declares that a particular act or amendment is invalid, in which case actually it declares? What is the reason? What is the purpose? First one is how it derives its power. The second one is from where it is derived its power. Third one, if it declares such thing, and what is the reason behind it? What is the rationality behind this? These are all the issues that can be discussed under current affairs. Now, Supreme Court of India can review any law that is made by Parliament. This is known as judicial review. Simply, in simple terms, judicial review is the Parliament makes law, and if any such law is not incompatible with the Constitution of India, Supreme Court declares that law is invalid or null and void. So here every law that is made by Parliament should be incompatible with the Constitution of India. So Article 13 provides such power to the judiciary, and this concept is known as judicial review. So India, or Constitution of India, has derived this power actually from American Constitution. This particular issue was incorporated in the Constitution of India. However, Article 13 directly is not mentioning anything about the judicial review. That the word exactly is not used in the Constitution of India, but it is merely a interpretation of the judiciary, that the Constitution of the judiciary of India has the judicial review power. So any law that is made by Parliament should be incompatible with the Constitution of India. Otherwise, what happens? The judiciary intervenes and declares that particular law is not valid. So the same case has happened with the National Judicial Appointments Commission. So through 99th Amendment Act, instead of collegium system, National Judicial Appointments Commission was established. But on October 16th, the Supreme Court of India has declared that this the establishing of this NJAC is not valid, and re-established the previous method of appointing the judges to the judiciary body. So with single news, that is persons in news, so with one appointment we have derived the previous or the backgrounds. In this previous or background, we have discussed the various powers of the Supreme Court, the articles related to Supreme Court, the judicial review of the Supreme Court, and the mode of appointment. If even anyone wants to study in detail, they can go to the how an amendment is made. Since we have discussed about 99th Amendment Act, 99th Amendment Act is related to establishing the National Judicial Appointments Commission. So how the amendment is made to the Constitution of India, and what was the majority that is required for various issues, or which article deals with the Constitution of India. All these issues can be studied under one particular news that is developed in recent times. And the GK part also can be discussed. What is GK? Is general knowledge. Generally, who is the first person, or largest or highest, having 10 years, all this kind of issues can be studied under general knowledge part. Now we will see in which city the first time the Supreme Court of India was established in India. So in Calcutta. In fact, the East India Company, which ruled India before the British Crown had taken place the power, so it established the first Supreme Court in India in Calcutta, and the first Chief Justice of India is Sir Elijah Impey. Through Regulating Act, the Supreme Court of India was established for the first time in India. So all these issues falls under general knowledge. So persons in news, appointment of the Chief Justice of India has led to go through the various parts of Constitution as well as GK part. In this way, if anyone prepares, they can tackle very easily general studies part, current affairs part as well as general knowledge part. Now let us see some economy news. So most of the times either Finance Minister or Prime Minister of India are talking about financial inclusion. Financial inclusion. So what is financial inclusion? Financial inclusion is nothing but providing financial services even to the person who is living in a remote area. So almost 5 lakh villages in India even today do not have any banking services or financial services. So if they bought under this financial service, under regular banking services, lot of services can be provided even to that people. So it is not the news that the government of India is giving importance to achieve 100% financial inclusion. However, what are the actions that are initiated in recent times in order to achieve financial inclusion is very, very important. Suppose if the question is like this: which of the following are aimed to achieve financial inclusion? A. Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. B. Small banks. C. Payment banks. D. All the above. What this question suggests? So the candidate should have or must have the knowledge about the Prime Minister Jan Dhan Yojana and its important and its aim, its purpose, small banks. Okay, so the purpose of establishing the small banks, the purpose of establishing payment banks. So if a candidate do have knowledge or does have knowledge about all these areas, they can answer only this question. Generally aspirants will collect the news: what is the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, on which date it was started, or how many small banks were given permission, or how many payment banks were given permission. Only they will confine the issues to a very core level. However, the question will be asked very differently. Actually all these are started to achieve the financial inclusion. So financial inclusion itself a subject. So whenever government starts any new program, the candidate has to acquire the purpose of that particular program. Swachh Bharat started. What is the purpose? Clean India. Make in India started. What is the purpose? Increasing the contribution of manufacturing sector to the India. Skill India was started. What is the purpose? Skill India is providing training or improving the skills of the youth of the India. In order to achieve that one, July 15th was declared as the International Skill Day also. However, in achieving financial inclusion, Government of India has initiated many things in recent times. As I said, Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, small banks, payment banks as well as business correspondents, and recently the services tax on the services that are provided by the business correspondents were also waived of paying that tax. So all these issues, once the financial inclusion has come, so every time, whenever the programs that are initiated by the Government of India should be noted down. Okay, so apart from this, the student has also to check each and every issue in an objective manner. A macroscopic view and a microscopic view is very, very important. What is macroscopic view? Financial inclusion. Under this one, which programs are started? Microscopic observation, that is on which date they are started, what is the main purpose, and all small things such as Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana was started on August 28th, 2014. The first phase was till January 26, 2015, and the second phase started immediately after the next day of that particular day, that is 27 January, and it will last till 2018. So the main aim is so zero balance account should be opened, and every household was taken as a unit. That means every household should have an account. Earlier such programs were there, but they were aimed at only village as a unit. But in this case, in the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, every household was taken as a unit. And payment plan and small banks, wherever the unbanked areas are there, almost 5 lakh people are not receiving any banking services. So these payment banks and small banks should provide the services in unbanked rural areas. Similarly, these small banks and payment banks, the companies that are got permission, the companies are very much important for objective type examination. And also the differences between the payment banks and small banks, the difference between the main nationalized banks as well as these banks also should be studied under current affairs topic. So it should be a broad view rather than a microscopic view. Now let's come to another important issue, international news. International news. On September 25th, 2015, on September 25th, 2015, UN General Assembly has adopted Sustainable Development Goals known as SDG, Sustainable Development Goals. Before this, there were Millennium Development Goals, MDG. From 2000 to 2015, these Millennium Development Goals were implemented, and right now the Sustainable Development Goals were initiated. What are these Sustainable Development Goals? Actually 17 goals, under which 169 targets were given, such as eradicating poverty, environment protection, providing employment, controlling inflation, and providing basic facilities to the poor people. All such kind of 17 aims were adopted by 193 members of UN General Assembly. Now, when this event is developed, the students has to remember all the 17 main goals and what are the programs that were initiated by the government of India in order to achieve those goals. For example, poverty. According to the Sustainable Development Goals, one of the goals is at least reducing 50% of the this below poverty line people. So if 100 poor people are there, their number should come down to 50. That is the goal. So it should be achieved by 2030. So in order to achieve this target, what are the programs that were initiated by the government of India? Are providing food security. What are the schemes that India is implementing in order to provide food security to the poorest of the poor? All these issues to be discussed. Apart from collecting the date and the goals, so going through each and every goal and the programs initiated by the respective state governments as well as the union government should be studied. In this way, a holistic preparation will provide a better understanding of the international as well as national news. Suppose if we see the national news, recently elections were held to the Bihar Legislative Assembly. So what kind of questions that can be asked? As I said, it should go to the polity part. So because this is merely a political development. A political development should be linked always with the constitutional developments. For example, Bihar elections happened. Who conducts the election? Election Commission conducts the election. So what is the relevant article to the Election Commission of India? 324 is the relevant article to the Election Commission of India. So who is the first election commissioner? Sukumar Sen. Actually this falls under GK part. GK, this particular bit. Sukumar Sen is the first election commissioner of India. Otherwise, election commission conducts elections for which bodies? Actually, Election Commission conducts election for President of India, Vice President of India, Parliament, that is both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, state legislative assemblies. Here one has to remember that the election commissioner, central election commissioner, will not conduct any elections for the local bodies. Local bodies. It doesn't conduct elections to the local bodies. So suppose if question is like this, for which of the following bodies Central Election Commission will not conduct any election? So he gives President of India, Vice President of India, local bodies and state legislative assemblies. The answer will be local bodies. Now in this particular issue we have studied Election Commission of India, we have developed GK part. Now how many seats are there in the Bihar Assembly? 243 seats. Which party, which is the single largest party in these elections? Here question should be studied very carefully. If the question is asked like this, which alliance has got maximum majority? Grand Alliance. But if it is question like this, which party has emerged as the single largest party? It is Rashtriya Janata Dal, headed by Lalu Prasad Yadav. So these are the national events that can be discussed. Suppose if we go to the sports news, most of the times students here should focus on the records rather than the venues. However, venues are also important, but more than that the records are important. For example, right now Gavaskar Gandhi Mandela series is happening. So the first test between India and South Africa, that was won by India. Ravichandra Ashwin created a record. So what record that he has created? Actually, he took his 150th wicket. He achieved this feat in just 29 test matches. So he broke whose record? Actually he broke two bowlers record, Erravalli Prasanna and Anil Kumble. He broke the record of these two spinners. So these two spinners achieved this feat in 34 tests. That is, in the 34 tests, both these spinners had got their 150th wicket. However, Ravichandra Ashwin could do that one in just his 29th test. Thank you.